Hi, I'm Gary.
And I'm Graeme.
Welcome to the Same World, Different Planets podcast.
A conversation between two friends who are separated by 30 years.
So, this year, Gray,
Fuck off. Go from the top.
You sure?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Gary.
And I'm Graeme.
Welcome to the Same World, Different Planets podcast.
A conversation between two friends who are separated by 30 years.
So, this week, Gray, I thought we would talk about probably your biggest passion.
Sex.
Golf.
Okay. Yeah, golf. Yeah, I love golf.
Yeah.
Obsessed by golf.
You've spent your retirement pretty much just playing golf.
Yeah, I'll have been retired. Next month, I'll have been retired 10 years.
Really?
And I have spent the vast majority of that and my retirement income on golf. And I really, really love it. In fact, to the extent that I've been a member at my golf club for about 9 years, and I've always been a 5-day member. And just last weekend, I've signed up for 7-day membership. And I've already played 4 times at the weekend in 2 weeks. I hope my wife isn't watching this.
It wasn't, to be fair to her, wasn't it her that actually encouraged you to do it?
It was, yes, she was.
Why did she see value in you doing that?
Less time with me in the house,
yeah?
I suspect.
Or was that the main aim?
I reckon so. No, I mean, I don't play. I've got no intention of sort of playing in the competitions and stuff at the weekends. I'm just keen to perhaps 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, go out and have 9 holes. And just sort of, keep the swing going through the weekend.
Yeah.
But I make it sound like it's a lifetime passion. It's not. I played golf probably when I was in my very, very early teens. And then, like most people, once I went to work, an occasional bit of corporate golf, but not much at all. And I've only really become properly obsessed with it since I retired. But I do think that golf offers an awful lot to all generations.
Okay, so in that case, let's start off with your generation, because
Okay.
you're saying it adds a lot to life. What would you say it's added to your life since retirement?
Okay, so it's probably the only form of exercise that I get. And if the only form of exercise I get is walking 6 miles a day, that's probably not a bad thing.
No.
But I think for people even older than me, I'm 67, and so I'm now part of the senior section. And we've got guys there who are in their early, mid, late 80s, and even a couple who are just knocking on the door of 90. And I see that it gives those guys so much more back in terms of companionship, in terms of giving them a reason to be getting up and going out in the morning rather than just sitting at home. It's giving them exercise. Obviously, the older they get, the more likely it is they end up using a buggy or something. But they're still walking around and taking exercise. But most importantly, mental agility. It's keeping their mind sharp. But companionship. The fact that they'll meet up twice a week, some guys 3 times a week, and might meet for a coffee first of all. They'll have a chat, they make sure everybody's okay, and then they're playing either 9 or 18 holes, and then they're back, more coffee, more chat. I think that gives them an awful lot.
Yeah. And then I suppose golf is seen as a bit of a gentleman's game, isn't it, so to speak?
Not anymore,
Do you think those sort of old-fashioned traditions are teaching the younger generation any good life skills, maybe?
Okay, so I'm probably the member of the wrong club because I'm a member of a club that's also got an awful lot of pay and play people. So people who are not a member of a club, they just turn up and pay their fee and off they go. And the days of the snooty golf club, maybe it still exists in some places that probably wouldn't have me as a member.
Yeah.
But I see those sorts of rules and regulations relaxing so much more, even down to the attire. Most people my age who play, we're still wearing golfing shorts and golfing tops, but I see kids rock up in just ordinary t-shirts and shorts, and I say bring it on, because the more that we can bring youngsters into playing golf, the better I think it'll be.
Yeah. So coming on to youngsters, what do you think a youngster gets from the game of golf in comparison to an older person?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they get slightly different things. It depends how seriously they take it. I suppose it depends on their mentors, and by that I mean most kids probably get introduced to golf by their dad or their mum, so that's probably their first exposure to it. But then if they show any sort of affinity for it at all, they're probably going to join a cadet section. If they're joining a cadet section at that point, hopefully they're into getting some training and some lessons as well. And I think it teaches sociability in times when I spend far too much of my life sitting there scrolling through an iPhone or an iPad. For at least 4 hours of the day, the kids are not on their phones. They're out playing golf with their mates. I think it teaches them discipline in terms of how to behave on a golf course. I think it gives them confidence because they will spend quite a lot of time talking to the older people in the clubs. And I think that's a massive thing. In 2001, I packed up work for a year and I joined a golf club and I was there 4 days a week. And there were these young kids who used, in summer holidays, the young kids, they were probably about 12, 13, I suppose. And their parents would drop them off at 8 in the morning on the way home, on their way to work. And they'd probably have a fiver in their pocket for their lunch and stuff. And then the parents would pick them up at 5 o'clock. And those kids would go out early, they'd play 18 holes, they'd go back to the clubhouse, they'd have some lunch, they'd have a Coke. And then they'd start talking to us as old people. And before you know where you are, you're out on the golf course with them, playing 9 holes with them, and they're taking money off you. and I just think that gives them so much confidence in the world and how to engage with people, how to talk to people. So I just think it's so much more than just going out and hitting a little white ball.
So this next question is a bit more to wind you up. Why is it that every time I speak to you, you've purchased another bit of golf equipment?
Well, first of all, it's not true, is it?
It is true. You're the only person I know that must buy about 14 golf bags. How many golf watches have you had? How many hybrids have you got through? And putters?
Yeah.
I know this because most of my golf attire is made up of stuff you've given me.
Guilty as charged. Again, I hope Lynn's not watching. I get to a point where if I start to play quite well, I play off 12.5 handicap,
which is good.
It's not good. It's sort of average club handicap. But as soon as I start to put a few good rounds together, I think to myself, if I only had some more tech or some more equipment, maybe I could get down to single figures. Maybe I could get down to 8 or 9. I never have. But normally, if I put 4 or 5 good rounds together, that probably means that I'll be treating myself with a debit card.
So what's been your latest purchase?
Golf-wise, latest purchase. Well, that was my excuse for buying an Apple Watch, because I thought if I had an Apple Watch, then I could use some of the apps that I've got on my phone directly on my watch.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've been using 18 Birdies. It's an app just called 18 Birdies. And that works brilliantly synced with the phone and the watch. And the phone now doesn't come out at all.
Yeah.
And I get everything straight off the watch.
Okay. So next question. Oh, no. Best ever golf purchase and worst ever golf purchase?
I'm not sure I can answer that.
Well, you better, because you're being recorded.
Okay, so it's the same product. It's the same product.
Really?
Yeah. About 2 years ago, I bought a remote control trolley. And for a year, that was my pride and joy. People hated me for it. People with remote control trolleys...
They do look like knob ends, don't they?
Well, they don't control them properly. And they like having them wandering off, 50 yards ahead of them and flitting either side of the golf course. And it's a bit like somebody with a badly trained dog. Somebody with a badly trained dog's a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Somebody with a badly trained remote control golf trolley is a pain in the arse. And you should treat a remote control golf trolley a bit like you push one. You keep it close to you. I was guilty of this as well. You'd walk onto a green, and you'd then remotely control the trolley so as it would go all the way around the other side of the green and then stop where it could wait for you for when you walk off. And yet at the time you think that's really clever, but when other people are trying to putt or other people are trying to chip onto the green, It's just a pain in the arse.
Right.
And most golfers are too nice to say to you, mate, you're a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
So that was my best golf purchase. I paid £1,100 for that. I hope Lynn's not watching. And then I changed my car.
Okay.
And it started to take up too much room in my car.
Right.
And also, they are very heavy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And even though it was only a year on, I changed my car to an SUV, such had a much higher step up.
Yeah.
And I was just finding
At
it
your
really
age,
hard.
yeah.
At my age, I was finding it really hard to lift it up. And
It won't
put
be
in.
that long before you've got one of those disability
Sit on
buggies,
one-
wouldn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I can imagine you being on
Man,
it.
no, the other one I like. Have you seen the scooters?
Oh yeah.
They're like
yeah.
a 3-wheeled
Yeah,
scooter.
Yeah.
Get me one. of them.
I bet I can genuinely imagine you on one of them as well.
100%.
Would you be just base it at a golf club, just leave it there?
Well, it's a funny thing. I'm told that in Spain, that's a very regular thing. People can leave their trolleys there. They leave their batteries there. Their batteries are recharged for them. The golf course that I belong to,
Not allowed to.
Not a chance.
Because there's those like resorts out in America, isn't there, where they all drive their buggies home, like they live on the golf course basically.
Yeah.
So they use the buggies on the golf course and around their
100%.
residential area, which
100%.
I could see you being. I'm surprised you haven't emigrated yet, just for that sort of lifestyle, you know. But
I think we're a long way away from that.
Yeah.
So come on, let's go to you, because you've been playing golf now pretty seriously for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
something
probably
like
a
that.
little bit less than that, but yes, I have.
So you're a busy boy. I mean,
am.
You are extremely busy.
Yeah.
But you somehow seem to manage to fit time in to play golf once a week, once a fortnight, something like that.
At the moment, that's probably a bit generous.
How do you manage it? And what is it with your busy lifestyle that makes you so keen to get out there on a golf course?
I think it's great for mental health, isn't it?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
I think getting out in the fresh air, hopefully in the sunshine, and
a little bit too much sunshine.
I mostly play by myself as well, so it's a bit of time to myself, which I quite enjoy.
Yeah.
And it just allows me a bit of time away from my busy diary. You know, I think that's probably one of the main reasons I do enjoy it so much. Not that I sort of particularly struggle with my mental health, but I do think that's a nice bit of it.
Yeah.
I think, as like you, I like the exercise factor of it as well. I do. There's that addiction that when you hit one good shot, it feels pretty special, doesn't it?
It's amazing. You can be having the worst round in the world. You can be having a real dog round, and then one good tee shot, one good shot into the green, and everything's good with the world again.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why it's like crack cocaine, because one good hit brings you straight back.
Yeah. But no, where I stray, I don't play anywhere near enough. You know, like I went out to an expensive club this weekend, and I think it was the first time I'd played in probably 4 weeks. You know.
Right.
And I expect just to rock up to the first tee and hit a ball 270 yards, and it isn't going to happen, you know. And then I get frustrated with myself that I'm not playing well, and you've got to be realistic with it, haven't you? It's muscle memory, but
I see that time and time again with the people that I play with. You know, the tee off is at 11 o'clock. They'll rock up at 5 to 11 in the car park, and then they're running
their mouth,
running onto the tee. You know, a pro or a single handicapper has been on the driving range for half an hour. They've done 15 minutes on the putting green. They've done some stretching, the rest of it. Our lot, me included, come rushing up 11 o'clock. Couple of practice swings, that'll do. Get on with it. Oh, stuff the first drive. You know,
it's so true, isn't it? But I suppose the last thing to talk about is obviously a lot of people think of golf, they think of an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
What would you say? Do you agree with that?
Not if you start young enough.
No, you are right.
So if you start youngsters off, they don't have to have new equipment. You can pick. The great thing about golf is that the second-hand value of second-hand golf clubs is 3/8 of nothing.
Yeah,
because they
can
devalue.
Vouch for that big time.
I can vouch for that
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
And most clubs, not all, but most clubs do extremely good deals for cadets.
Yeah,
now,
I was shocked how cheap a cadet rate
I
is.
know, but and I'm not saying that that's achievable for everybody, because of course it's not.
Sure.
But I think our place is probably less than £200 a year.
Yeah.
For a
It's
cadet.
good value, isn't it?
And for a cadet to be able to go out and play 3-4 times a week, maybe in the summertime, maybe 5 or 6 times a week, for £200 a year, that's a really good investment.
Yeah.
You'd know better than I do. What's that? It's about the cost of 3 decent video games, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. New video game, you can be doing 70, 80 quid easily. Yeah.
And as I say, second-hand clubs, second-hand bags, second-hand trolley. You could do that. You could do that quite cheaply.
Yeah.
And the thing that's probably the most expensive and probably the most important is lessons.
Yeah.
Golf lessons aren't cheap. Golf lessons, most places you're looking at 30 quid for a half an hour. But with youngsters, they do group lessons.
Yeah.
So especially through the summer holidays, you can normally pick those up a bit cheaper as well.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got a kid who's showing any sort of interest in it, then encourage that. When Joe was I think he was about 8 or 9, I signed him up for golf lessons on a Saturday, and we were going to this golf club, and all they did with them was they took them out to a field out the back with a big bucket of balls, and they just had to swing and hit balls into a field. And he hated it.
Really?
Well, it's not around the golf, is it? There's no sense of real challenge to it. But they were just trying to sort of show them the grip, show them how to swing and all the rest of it. And one of the pros said to me, he said, if this kid keeps it up, he's got single handicap written all over him. And Joe hated it. And one Saturday morning, I was driving him to the golf club, and he was slouched in the seat. And I said to him, you hate this, don't you? And he went, yeah. I said, do you want to go home? He went, yeah. now he's 34 and he's all keen to get involved again.
Yeah.
And now he's finding it really hard.
Yeah.
He's always saying, oh, God, it's too bloody hard.
It's probably something we haven't touched on. I suppose he's looking at it now from the sort of corporate networking side, isn't he, for work? Which is something we probably should have spoke about, really.
Yeah, because
it's another big part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly for especially people your age.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who was about your age, and I'm not going to give any names, but he basically got his job, a big media job, and he basically got his job because the top man wanted a good single handicapper to play corporate golf with. And this guy, he was a talented guy. He could do the job and he was good at his job. But his number one job was to be the boss's golf partner.
Yeah.
And I would say barely a fortnight went by that he wasn't out on some corporate jolly. But people buy from people, and I think there's still a lot of business that gets done on a golf course.
I can imagine you can't imagine the millions of pounds that has been transacted over a golf course game.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Right, so if you play golf, leave the reason why you play golf in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely, and we'll be replying to them all. See you next week.